October, not 2 days before Halloween, I will turn 20 years old. To celebrate this enormous step in my life, I'm counting down my top 10 video game villains. Standard rules apply, one per franchise, and only from games I've played. Also, I'm ranking them on 3 things: fight, of course, motive, and action, meaning reason for pulling the action and what they did for the game. Also, they should be a given for these lists, but there will be spoilers. So without further ado, let's get our game on. Throughout the entire game of The World Ends With You, Neku talks with his partners, particularly Beat and Joshua, as if being the composer of Shibuya would get all their lives back. But that's until we meet number 1 on our list. Megumi Kitaniji is the one in charge of assigning the Game Masters in the Reaper's game. Let's start with his fight. At the end of The World Ends With You, you fight Kitaniji after reuniting with Shiki, Neku's first partner. Just to get a chance to get to the composer, you go through the first stage, where you have Neku fighting Kitaniji, who fires psychic cutters, snakes, and bullets at you in an attempt to sap your HP pool. Also, thanks to the power of the outlet pin, B is fighting Shiki on the top screen, so you have to watch that. To get to the second phase, you have to beat Kitaniji and Shiki, watch the cutscene, and scan to find an open doorway, which you will immediately go through. Continue far enough down the hall, and you will come across the composer's throne room, where you meet Megumi and find out that the supposed main antagonist of the game was not present since Neku entered the underground. After Shiki and Beat reunite with Neku, Kitaniji shatters his Reaper's wings, sending him into his true form, a Hydra-type noise.
I really wish I could use Josh's joke.
In this phase, you have to attack the various parts of the snaky body that appear on the screen. The head will first appear on the top screen, making it easy to hit for Shiki, or Beat, depending on which part of the fight you're on. Then go to the lower screen, where it will try to erase Neku with a barrage of attacks. If by a great chance you equip the pin you got immediately after the first phase, this part is easy. The third phase is where it gets weird. Joshua, who you thought got erased the previous week, walks in on the fight, and Megumi calls him Sir, only to later capture him and your other partners and turn him into a giant multi-headed golden dragon noise. I like dragons. Just attack the heads and avoid their attacks, obviously, and press the button that corresponds with the one over your partner when it pops up. One flashy cutscene later, and Megumi's motives are revealed. Turns out that instead of the cliched crap of guiding humanity to righteousness that he wanted you to believe, Shades was taking over the minds of the people of Shibuya to show them the potential behind it, and therefore save it from the composer's shutdown. This was all part of a little game that the two of them set up. The composer would leave the UG and send a player to play the game in his stead. Try to guess who that player was. Yes, the entire game you've been playing as the world's destroyer, and neither you nor the character knew about this. While his actions and the fight are enough to land him a spot on this list, his motivation are what lands him at number 10. It's more what you expect from a protagonist than a villain. Also, he was a risk because of his month of playtime running out. Not because of the fight, but because of a timer. Set up the mood for number 9. He sent an entire army after your race before you were born, kidnapped another of your kind as you were left to a family of dragonflies, and turned this one against you through magic brainwashing. Feeling mad yet? No? How about this? He also tried to reclaim control of the one he kidnapped after you saved her, forces you to freeze her, your dragonfly brother, and yourself in an amber substance for 3 years, and takes over your home by suspending it several feet above the ground. Still not mad? He is also trying to remake the world in his image because he thinks it's his duty as the first of his kind in recorded history. Yes, if you've played The Legend of Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon, you know where I'm going with this. The Dark Master, or as he's truly called, Malefor, is not just a villain, but the catalyst for the series. He's the reason the apes tried to take over the Dragonfly Woods when Spyro still thought of himself as a dragonfly. He's the reason Cinder was corrupted and turned to the dark side. And he's the reason that Spyro almost died at the end of the series. Funny thing is, his fight is so unmemorable. that I can't talk about it. I'm not kidding. The climax of the entire series, and I can't remember it. I'll give him some points though, as I've only fought Malifaux once, but his fight was just not as enjoyable as even getting to Niji's. But thinking on it, I do remember that Spyro, Cinder, and Malifaux are fighting on a platform that is falling to the planet's core. So, there's that. Also, he has you and Cinder chained together to die the same way after Cinder breaks Malifaux's brainwashing. Again. In truth, I'd prefer Ansem or Xemnas to take this spot. I can't do that because I didn't play Kingdom Hearts or Kingdom Hearts 2. However, playing Dreams Without Distance, I learned that they were two halves of the same heart. That heart's name is Xehanort. What makes this particular villain hard for me to talk about is, well, I haven't reached a boss fight against him yet. At least, not at his current age. And it's been a while since I played Birth by Sleep, so I'll do my best to regurgitate what I can recall. He was Ventus's first Keyblade teacher, only because he wanted the Keyblade, which somehow resided within Ven. Then he removed the darkness within Ven, creating Vanitas, and Ven became Master Ericus' student, along with Terra, who Xehanort tried to make his apprentice, and Aqua, who failed to be of any relevance to Master Xehanort's plan whatsoever. After Xehanort was beaten in Birth by Sleep, he literally split his heart in two. Ansem, who was to find the Princesses of Heart, which he thought were the Seven Lights to make the Keyblade, and Xemnas, who was tasked to find the 13 Nobodies and filling them with copies of Xehanort's heart if they were qualified. I have yet to beat young Xehanort, but he's still on this list for a reason.
Dr. Eggman.
If you think about it hard enough, this guy belongs on here. Sure, he was recently downgraded to comic relief, but still his ideas and evil schemes are, well, exactly what the words imply. In the beloved and contest-winning Sonic Unleashed, contest by Bawful's Minion, Eggman used the power of the Chaos Emeralds while Sonic was still in super form to break Mobius into 7 pieces. So basically, Eggman literally destroyed the world at the beginning of the game. Oh? You want another example of how Eggman can be considered a good villain? I think Reboot83 put it best when he put this in his best Eggman ideas countdown, and I'll paraphrase it. He's burning an alien race to power a mind control cannon. That's inhumane. Now, he's only number 7 because his fights have been very predictable, but they're very fun nonetheless. My number 6 is from Pokemon Generation 5.
It's not Getsus. It's N.
King N of Team Plasma has always had a special connection to Pokemon, a connection that allows him to communicate with them and drives him to try to make all the trainers set them free. He wanted this goal so much that he went after the legendary Pokemon, Zekrom if he chose Black or Black 2, and Reshiram if he chose White or White 2, in the battle with the main character's legendary Pokemon. His motivation brings up why I think he makes a better villain than Getsus. It's less generic than Getsus' motivation, whereas Getsus wants to take over the world and wants to liberate what he thinks are enslaved wildlife. His battle on Black and White, and his character in Black and White 2 are what landed him at number 6. In the final fight, he uses his legendary, Zekrom for Black and Reshiram for White, a Caracosta, a Vanillix, an Archeops, a Zoroark, and a Klinklang. But this time, your Samurott, Emboar, or Torperior is stronger than your Reshiram or Zekrom, so it's possible to beat the rest of his team without even bringing out your Reshiram or Zekrom. His character is the 2nd and 5th generation games is not of an enemy, but that of an ally, and that's why he is number 6.